are you guys at on Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney in this drug test? I mean, I got to tell you, it seems like the story that just won't go away. And I also believe that it is purely PR. I don't know that. That could turn out to not be accurate. But I don't believe there's anybody with adjudication power. Now, as I look back historically, I remember Berto. I remember Andre Berto, who was very clearly sauced, entered VADA with Jiminy Christmas and failed a VADA test. And I don't remember Berto fighting again. I'm not here to tell you that was his last fight. I'm telling you, I don't remember him fighting again. So if he did fight, it wasn't a big pay-per-view. It wasn't a main event. It wasn't one of these things that was a spectacle and got advertised, right? Whether he's fighting down at the dog park or not, I didn't know about it, and I follow the sport. Which would lead you to believe there must have been somebody with adjudication powers. But I don't specifically remember that. I remember he failed VADA, and then I don't remember him fighting again. That's how I remember this. I remember seeing it. I remember how juiced up he was, right? No, I don't know if there's been a boxer that was more obviously juiced up than Juan Manuel Marquez Jr. the fourth time he fought Manny Pacquiao. I mean, Freddie Roach took a look at him and said, if that guy is clean, I'll kiss his ass. And believe me, Freddie didn't have to kiss any ass. But I'm just sharing with you, like, in the world of boxing, it's not as blatantly obvious as you might think. And I'm just wondering what you guys think about it. Because if there's no adjudication power, right, then all you have is a PR situation. And I'm wondering who's handling it. I mean, there's a rule in politics. If somebody says something about you that's bad and you don't respond, it is then true. That is the rule. Whether you want that to be so or not, or whether you're hoping some people will come to the conclusion of, oh, that's just not worth my time and I'm not going to deal with it. They will not come to that conclusion. Media that can't confirm something, they have an inability to confirm. If it gets said about you and you don't respond and you don't deny, they will start reporting that it's true. So when I tell you that it's a rule, it's very important. And I've never seen a guy try to smear an opponent in an ass-whipping contest and it stick. I just haven't seen it for any reason. Referee screwed this up. My wife made a bad dinner last night. My trainer didn't give me his all. I feel as though I've heard every excuse. I've never seen it work. But I have seen it backfire. And the most that Devin Haney can hope for is a high-paying rematch against Garcia. And by the way, that's not just hope. That's not just cross your fingers. That is absolutely the direction he should be going. That is absolutely what his strategic target should be. Because nobody is letting you know more, and nobody's letting you know more repeatedly, that Devin Haney was upset by Ryan Garcia. Nobody is letting you know that that match happened. Reminding you that it happened. I mean, you don't get guys that lost a football game on Sunday coming out 3 weeks later telling everybody that they lost the game or make an excuse. They're not telling people they lost the game. And I do see people like this. Like I've passed people in traffic before that will have an Al Gore bumper sticker and Al Gore for president. I just said, why do you advertise a loss? That's just a strange thing to do. Like when you lose, you take the sign out of your yard. And I only bring that as I'm looking how Haney is playing it and I'm not really getting it. And I don't know what his plan is here. Haney is telling anybody that will listen that he got beat up by Ryan Garcia. But Ryan Garcia missed weight by 3 pounds. I mean, this was an actual thing. And it gained him zero traction. Nobody thought it was an unfair advantage. In fact, many people called Haney on it and said, yeah, that was yesterday. What'd you guys weigh on fight night? I mean, not for nothing, those answers have never come out. Now, you might care, you might not. It's not really relevant to it, but it's also not overly relevant that a guy missed weight. I mean, if you agreed that you went on fight, that's it. There is no more to the story. But Haney kept on wanting to add it. And I'm not giving Haney a hard time here. I'm just making an observation of what Haney's doing. Like, I understand when you go out and you get beat and this guy had this advantage and now you're hearing that he might add another one. You want to explain it. You have a hard time accepting it yourself. Like, There is a history in boxing that it is always somebody else's fault. And the greats will own their losses. And I'm not picking on Haney. Haney's a young guy. And this is a lot that he's dealing with. And he's just trying to get the story out there and he's trying to get it accurately. But he doesn't have the story. He doesn't know why Ryan Garcia missed weight by 3.5 pounds. He doesn't know if that was lack of discipline or he was on and chugged a Gatorade just for this. I mean, he doesn't know. And he doesn't know if he's failed these tests. In fact, he made a claim that he failed too, and it's already chopped in half. So not for the fact that Haney will put something out, whether it's accurate or not, and keeps talking about this. Again, if there's a strategic plan to get a rematch, this is helpful. Like, this is really great stuff for the rematch. And as we get down the road, it's quite likely what this will be turned into. But it is not a strategic play right now. It is a guy believing that he can correct within the public's mind an ass whooping that he took. And I've just never seen it happen. And I have sure as hell seen it backfire. Tito Ortiz, baddest dude in the world. And there's only a few times in history that you can say that. There's always somebody contending. There's always somebody next. There's always, oh, we got to get these two together. There was a period of time when everybody knew I cannot beat up Tito. There was a period of time, and so he lost a street fight to Lee Murray. And the good news was this is just before the smartphone era, about 4 years before smartphones and people all got cameras. The bad news was there was 8 witnesses, all of which were in the sport of MMA, and went and told somebody. And they all told the exact same story. So Tito comes a little bit more clean about, okay, he got me, but said I was wearing dress shoes. You know, I was slipping a little bit. I couldn't get my footing. I think, in fairness, I wasn't there. I think, knowing Tito, I think Tito just said what happened. I think he found himself in a fight with a dude he thought would back down. Turned out the guy wasn't going to back down. Okay, now I got to fight him, and it's like I'm on ice skates. I think he just told the truth, which didn't make a bit of difference in his favor. It served to tease him relentlessly. And that's just generally the way I see the story go. I don't generally see somebody coming out the other side of it. And I do know that not very many people watched that fight. Now, in the world of boxing, this was a pretty successful event, but in the world of, I've covered it. This is now my 7th piece I have made on the fight, and I didn't watch it. I mean, just for example, I read along, followed Kevin Iole. So I would have moved on. I'd be moving on. I'd be talking about Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. I'd be talking about something else, but Devin Haney won't let me. And Devin Haney is now out telling people, which again, I think it's just the dress shoe story. I think he's just telling the truth. He just looks like a fool by doing it. And the part where you look like a fool is the part where you don't know that you look like a fool. That's the foolish part. Like, you think I'm just going to tell a story, man, I was on dress shoes and Lee Murray caught me. Okay, great, but do you not know that's going to make you sound stupid? Like, you're still responsible for your mouth starting a fight. When you turn to the guy and you mouth like you want to fight and you're in the streets, you're now responsible for what's on your face. You know what? You understand this concept? Devin Haney comes out and he says, it is such a thing as microdosing. That's why that nanogram crap ain't gonna fly. And again, no one knows what he's talking about, including him. He does. Someone said the word microdosing to him. Someone said nanogram. No one knows what he's talking about. And we're never going to know. We're never going to see it. We're never going to find it. Oh, and by the way, once we do, no one's going to care. Nobody's going to care. This country has swords and shields on horseback, and it takes this country on that's got B-52s. It's not going to matter. It's not going to matter that you had a sword and a shield and you didn't know about these things. It's not going to matter. Who beat who? Okay, great. We're all done here.